Middle East analysts have said that Iran's leaders were likely to treat General Qasem Soleimani's killing as an act of war, but one national security analyst from the Conservative Heritage Foundation thinks that such a drastic response is unlikely. One America's John Hines reports from Washington.
Heritage Foundation Middle East expert James Carafano tells One America News that the successful U.S. operation to kill Iranian General Qasem Soleimani represents a huge loss for Iran's regime and its Iraqi proxies, and is a major operational and psychological victory for the United States.
This was not an escalation on the part of the U.S. First of all, the U.S. warned them. These were guys that were in Iraq, in a foreign country, directly planning terrorist attacks against the United States. What the U.S. did was just the inherent right of self-defense. In some ways, this is even more justified than taking out Osama bin Laden. Bin Laden wasn't actively planning to kill Americans in the coming days. These guys were.
Planning to kill Americans, says Carafano, who in addition to work at the Heritage Foundation, also until recently served as a lieutenant colonel in the U.S. Army. He says that in terms of what happens now, any notion from Iran or fear-mongering from any of the Democratic candidates for president about a dangerous escalation of tensions amounts to just so much bluster.
So what could the Iranians do? Well, essentially they can do kind of all the things they're doing now. They can try to direct terrorist attacks abroad. They can have your surrogates come after you. They can try to block the straits. They can interfere with shipping. They can throw missiles at Saudi Arabia. They've already done all those things. So I think the Iranians will try something. But look, it's very clear the United States isn't interested in escalating. Escalating would be incredibly risky for the Iranian regime.
Risky because the Iranian economy is in terrible shape. There's enormous internal opposition. The Ayatollah is old and fragile and could die at any time, which means the U.S. is likely looking at just more of the same, says Carafano, who hastens to add, nevertheless, make no mistake, this Iranian general just killed by American firepower was a high-value target, and in fact, probably the world's most deadly terrorist.
Soleimani is the head of the Quds Force. That's the part of the Iranian National Guard that is essentially in charge with all covert operations and terrorist activities aboard. They run the surrogates. He's been doing this for decades. He's probably the world's most deadly terrorist if you look at the amount of people who've died as a result of the orders that he has given. And he was inside Iraq, directly coordinating attacks in the United States.
Carafano adds that the general's decision to locate in Iraq was a particularly brazen move that would be as though Japanese Admiral Yamamoto set up shop on Waikiki Beach after bombing Pearl Harbor. John Hines, One America News, Washington.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.